Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly a senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and to all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this a brand new day. And, of course, no matter who you are valid. I got all dressed up and was ready to walk out the front door here. And then I remembered, oh, I wasn't getting dressed to leave. I was getting dressed to do my vlogging. So, my brain. But I had therapy this morning. I can't make my finger crack, so it's just gonna hurt and stick. Yeah. And so my brain is a mess anyway. I mean, not a mess, but things get pulled up during therapy and you gotta let them settle back down. So, my brain. And I want to talk about this and stress this. Yesterday I talked about how I almost choked to death on a bit of peach that had gotten sucked down into my throat. And I mentioned at the time how I had not panicked. One of the best things that you can do in those situations is not panic. But I immediately tried to swallow, but when that didn't work, I started breathing the air out, then engaging my vocal cords, and then I managed to bend over. And when you do that, it pushes your gut upward, compresses your lungs, air gets pushed out, and whoop, out came the thing. I was not cold and clinical about this. Oh no. There was no panic. But I had several feelings coming on. Number one, the feeling of, I have got to stay on top of this or I am going to die. And the second feeling was, I am going to die today. This is it. I am going to die. Right now, on this. And there was no panic, just a feeling of, but when I bent and it came out, everything instantly changed from that feeling of, this is it, I'm gonna die. And no panic, it wasn't accepting, because I was doing everything that I knew to do to get myself not dying, which still amazes me that I was on top of it enough to keep exhaling, to engage my vocal cords, to bend so that it would push the air out. All the things that I was thinking of to get out of this situation were the right things to do, that if I had not done them, I'd be dead now. So I managed to, in a very rough situation, think of it, do it, and again, I was not level-headed and clear. There was that overwhelming sense of, this is it, I am going to die now. But again, the moment that piece of peach came up, and it was a sizable chunk, it was like this big. It was big enough to close off my air entirely. I couldn't swallow it down, and I certainly didn't want to breathe, because anything but air going this way, and that piece of peach was going to continuous fall down, and then I would be dead. But the moment it came out, it was like, wish I hadn't done that, but at least it snapped a little bit. Everything changed, mentally and physically. I felt zero physical repercussions. The minute that piece of peach was out of my throat back there, it was, okay, done. And I felt nothing. And mentally, it was like a light switch. It was done. And I went, oh, I'm going to go back to watching videos now. And that's what it was. So, yeah, I am amazed that I was able to stay alive. But it wasn't me being on top of it that got me through it, even though, of course, it was me being on top of it that got me through it. But the overwhelming thing was not, I am in control, my overwhelming feeling was, this is it. Goodbye consciousness and life. So I managed to pull through. Yay. Past that, yesterday I didn't do much except I did record a video, gameplay video for that Striving Light Survival, which I keep playing quite a bit, and they keep updating it, even if small little changes. So it's good. I enjoy that game. If you like bullet heaven type games, it's a fun one. So thumbs up on that. Yay! I've been trying to write. I wrote a several page thing, not several page, substitute paragraph. Search, find, replace the word paragraph for page. I wrote several paragraphs. I've been writing a dumb, stupid thing that I became emotionally invested to it in the description of the videos. And of course, every time I do that, I grow it into a full paragraph, just adding a new sentence each day, and then I erase it and start over again. This last one was about a whole bunch of medieval type fantasy adventurers, basic D&D type adventurers, and they were all being eaten by the snake that they had brought along. For some reason it was considered part of the group. It's like, we're a 6-party group and here's the 7th member, or and the 6th member is this snake here, and everyone's like, well, yeah, I mean, the paperwork's signed, I guess they're a member of the crew, and then, slowly it's just eating them. And then it got to the point, it's like, I've become emotionally invested. So I wrote several paragraphs about the characters, even the ones who'd been eaten. So, who knows? Maybe I'll be able to write an actual... right now it's just generic fantasy just so that I can write something. Cleric and rogue, stuff like that. It's nothing but... It's like when you just go out walking instead of running because you've been sick. You're not exercising because they're trying to break new ground. You're just trying to exercise to slow down the decline until you get better, and then you can pick it back up. And so I am writing just generic adventure fantasy stuff right now. And so maybe I'll decide to turn this to my setting so I can get my setting up and running. It's hard to say. Thumbs up. I have tried several times to start playing 8-Bit Dungeon again using the new playmat that I have built. And I talked with my therapist about that. I showed him some of the playmats that I had made and how, you can purchase them for like 20 bucks a piece, but that can easily be just the price of a game. And I don't want to spend 20 bucks on a piece of neoprene when I can buy a full game. So the playmats, I don't care if they look sloppy. The point is if they work. I have never really cared about the cosmetics of things my whole life. That's just the way my brain works. That's why I've never worried about jerry-rigging something to make it work. As long as it works, who cares what it looks like? Make sure it's safe and it's not going to burn your house down. Don't do your own electrician work. Call a professional. Be smart. But on the little things, just jerry-rig it so it works. Who cares what it looks like? So that's why I don't understand purchasing things like cosmetics in games. I understand it as hey, that's what human beings do. But I don't understand it on a, this is what I want to do sort of level. I'm just going to leave that off. So I have been trying to play games, but as stated, the executive dysfunction. I didn't state it today. I've stated it just in the past, and that's actually one of my verbal things that I hate. That, as stated, is like I may not have stated it for quite some time, so it's an annoying turn of phrase. So, yay on that. Still, though, I am going to keep trying to do what I can do. Grab a pen. I do have to head out. I need to get food. I ate the last of my actual food that I actually will. So a lot of use of the word actually. I used up this morning the last of the food that I will eat. I have mashed potatoes, but I got nothing to put on them, and they're unflavored. So I don't want to eat just styrofoam. So I'm gonna go out and get some food that I can taste. In some cases it's gonna be, good food, and in some cases it's gonna be, I'm still stress eating. I mean, took a week. That was not English again. It took a week for this to get better after the stressors that I had put on it. As it is, I have a pillow that I have in front of me, and then I put a pillow over my side because I lay on my right side, and then I put my left arm up on that pillow, and then that's how I sleep. And then during the daytime, yeah, I'm waving my arm around like I just don't care, but that's because during the time it was injured, I had to think about everything that I do. When it doesn't hurt all the time, I don't think about it, and so I just do what I always do, which is wave it around like I just don't care because I'm not thinking about it. So yeah, when it starts to hurt, I mean, like right now, it's getting kind of sore. But it's better. It's not best yet, so I gotta be careful here. And then I gotta be careful not to stress out this side, so yay. Still though, doing what I can do, trying to be creative, thinking as best I can on my various characters and settings, trying to keep them fresh until I can actually start real work on the whole thing again. That's not gonna happen until I can figure out what's going to go on with my neck. Yes, I need to get down to the hospital. I need to talk to the people there so that I can talk to the surgeon type people where they will tell me what kind of thing I will be facing. Informed consent and all. Because right now, I have no ideas how it would be done. But just because I can't think of it doesn't mean they don't have anything amazing. After all, it used to be having your gallbladder out was huge. They had to cut you almost in half to get to your gallbladder. Now, they just poke 4 holes in your abdomen, pump it up with carbon dioxide, take these long tools, stick them up inside you, snip, cauterize, pull it out, drain out some of the gas, pop band-aids on the holes. You go home the same day. Amazing things can happen. So just because I don't know how they can core out the bone around my spinal cord and around the bone surrounding the nerves that control my arms, just because I don't know how it can be done, doesn't mean it can't be done semi-easily. Just because I can't think of how recovery can be done, because the only way I could think of that they could get to the spinal cord would be to destroy the bone. And then that would take, what kind of recovery would that be if you can't lift your head? Obviously, that's not going to be the thing. Even if that was true, they have things where they drill holes in your skull to hook it onto a thing you wear on your shoulders so that it doesn't damage things like that. So there are things and ways. I just have to stop worrying about the things that I can't control and get the information, which means I need to get there. Which, of course, with the executive dysfunction and the executive function issues, I need the computer systems to not be down when I can actually get there. I'm not going to be able to get there today. On the days that I work with my therapist, those days I'm not going to be able to get anything of any real size and impact done. But at least I'm going to try and do something. So when I get back from the way out, because I have to go out and get stuff done, it's raining, so when I get back, I'm pretty sure my feet are going to be soaked, so I'm probably going to have to dry my shoes in front of the heater. Yay. But before I leave, I'm going to edit and get this thing a rendering and then head out and then come on back and upload. So, yay. As stated though, I am still trying to think of all of the various things in my settings. After all, one of the things that I've mentioned how in the cryptid setting there are 3 layers to the cryptid world, and the upper layer, they're kind of like cryptid gods. It took several cycles of creation of our star system for them to really coalesce in the form they are now. And when I say that, the various cycles is within this setting, within this universe, within the multiverse. Every 15 billion years, our star burns down from, goes from what it is now up to a red giant and then starts fading down into a white dwarf. Eventually, it's just going to, it's going to take a long time before it finally burns out, but once it becomes a white dwarf, that is the beginning of the very, very end. And I posit within the setting that energy from the inside is pouring into various stars from various gates. There is mathematics from other parts of, layers of reality and such. I don't know how it would work, but our star is one of them. Energy is pouring into it through these gates, even as we live our lives, and even after our species is gone, it continues to happen until the door's shut. When our star turns into a white dwarf, eventually its work as a resistor fails. It cannot keep the energy that has been going into it from discharging, at which point it sparks into a brand new, freshly minted star, and the burst of energy destroys everything that was left of whatever vague planets might there be in that point in time, creating a new accretion disk which all turns into new planets and eventually evolves life on one planet that comes up with us. And that takes 15 billion years from beginning to end. But while that happens, the inside and the outside and the razor's edge are, the inside and the razor's edge are disconnected from the outside. The disconnection of flow of energy disconnects them from the outside's time stream. 3 billion years pass on the inside and the razor's edge, while 15 billion pass out here. Once a new planet has formed that is going to be ours, where we will evolve, energy starts to flow from the cryptid gates onto this planet, and then eventually when life has evolved far enough, the doors open up and then everything reconnects from the inside and the razor's edge. Now this on our side, there's also the third area of the cryptid world. The first part is where we are considered to be base and degenerate. Then there's the cryptid world, where everyone is trying to get to, where there's dinosaurs and tribes of Bigfoot, and every cryptid that you can imagine lives there too. And then there's the cryptid gods. And as stated, it took a couple generations of bam, 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 15 billion years, but when they coalesced and became what they are now, about 4/5 of a trillion years ago, they figured out how to, when energy was starting to slow down, siphon up what they could, and then basically grab hold of the whole and pull it in after them. So they were basically a pocket dimension while they were in hibernation. And only after 15 billion years pass, when a new planet has formed and cryptid energy is flowing onto it again, that within they sense that, push the door opening, the opening outward again, and attach to the lower and middle parts of the cryptid world that has formed. Now, if there is a third part to the cryptid world that has formed, it is unfortunately instantly destroyed, as coming from hibernation, they crush and replace all of creation that possibly could have become something that would have rivaled what crushes and kills an entire basic universe of beings. So thumbs up on that. Anyway, thumbs up and thank you each and every one of my Patreon patrons. I don't have you up on the screen yet, but very soon I hope to have you up here. Until then, you know who you are, and who you are is beautiful and awesome people. Thumbs up for that. For everyone that has left me a comment, thank you. I have answered more comments over the past couple days than I have, I think, in several weeks. So, yay for that. I don't know how long that'll last, but it's nice to at least do something. But I try to answer comments in comments. I try to make topics for videos for those that I can think of something to talk about. And for everyone else, as stated, that phrase again, I do read and appreciate each and every comment. Thumbs up and thank you much. So, until we meet again, I'm heading out into the rain. And hopefully you can get done the things that you need to get done. I'm also going to relax my arm as soon as I get home. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very, very good thing. No fancy editing, just tapping the stopping recording button on screen. This is going to be a great day for carrying groceries for several miles.